Let's just try and settle into our meditation posture. So just check. The main thing is to be comfortable. We're just going to be sitting here for the next 30 minutes, thinking, working on our mind, purifying, doing a bit of mantra, some visualization. So you want to be comfy, but also I think the main thing is for this particular meditation, this particular time, is just to make sure you're aligned. You're not sort of slumped over. So you can just imagine your spine is a string of pearls of light, stretching from the base all the way up through the crown of your head. And then imagine someone's above you or behind you, very gently lengthening your spine, putting some space in between those vertebrae, just letting it stretch. Lengthening all the muscles along the back. Imagine your head is, well, you can actually just do it very gently, dropping your chin down, but at the same time imagining your crown of your head is lengthening. Perhaps you can imagine you're drawing a circle on the ceiling, like an arc on the ceiling with the top of your head, crown of your head. So that way you don't just kind of flop forward like this. Just very gently allow the head to tip forward, putting some length in the back of the neck. And my eyes are down. If they were open, they'd be looking at a spot ahead, about a couple of inches ahead on the ground. And relax the jaw. Maybe move your jaw around a bit. And we can bring our awareness to the crown of our head and relax the scalp and the forehead, the eyes, and go to the back of the eyes, the nose, the cheeks, the area around the mouth. And then take your awareness to the crown of the head, the back of the head, near the occipital bone, the base of the skull. And just imagine you're letting go, releasing all the tension, and then you'll notice as you do that, your face will relax. And relax the ear and the inner ear and the temples, the jaw. Relax the back of the neck and the shoulders. Allow your shoulder blades to drop down. Relax the throat and the chest and the belly, limbs, hands, fingers, and feet and toes. And just bring the mind to the breath, noticing the sensation of the air as you're inhaling and exhaling. It's very subtle sensations on the outside of the nostrils and then maybe inside as well. Just pay attention there. As you settle, just to allow yourself to go in. We spend so much of our day outside, and I mean by looking outside, working outside, talking with others, taking care of others. So now it's time to take care of yourself and just go inside a little bit to nourish yourself. So if there are any sounds in your environment, just allow those sounds to be there. Try not to follow them with your mind or engage. Think about what it might be. Be distracted by it. Just allow it to be there and it will sort of float into the background. And then notice what's arising in your mind and be curious about it. And try not to criticize or judge what might be going on in your mind. Just allow it to be there. And we can put ourselves on the bank of our river. Just watch that river flow by, and while you're watching that river, you are free from the river. So bring to mind some people of your life, your loved ones, spouses, children, best friends, work colleagues, old school friends, maybe neighbors, and then really try and bring them to your mind. Think of them. And then there's those folk in your life who maybe you have a bit of difficulty with. And then there's complete strangers. They're all over the place, in the supermarket, on the freeway, walking down the street, passing briefly through our lives. And remembering they can change place at any time. If we are trying to develop compassion and equanimity, we can think that they're all equal. That particularly, the one we like and the one we don't like, actually they're equal. They're the same as you and me. And they wish to be happy, and they wish to be free from suffering. And they all have this incredible capacity for enlightened mind. So rather than putting people into separate groups, oh, I don't like that person, but I love this person, we try to think about evening out our feelings. It's just an experiment. We can sort of think about what would it be like to have an equal amount of compassion for everyone. And we all have karma with people, so we will be having some folk in our lives who will be closer to us than others. Anyway, something to think about. So remembering there is no negativity that cannot be purified. And this purification process is basically a psychological one. So we create negativity with our mind, so we're going to change that by creating positivity with our mind instead. So we're going to do this practice tonight, the four Vajrasattva in the four opponent powers. So we start with the power of regret. So sincerely regret from the depths of your heart anything you have done to harm any living being on this day, in this life, and in all past lives. And you can think of specifically of actions, both your body and your speech. And the reason we regret is based on this logic of karma. So we experience everything due to our past karma, our past actions, and having harmed others, we ourselves will necessarily experience suffering in the future. And we cannot bear the thought of future suffering. So as we know from present suffering, we don't want any more. So logically, it makes sense to remove the karmic seeds before they ripen as future suffering for us. So think like this. I regret from the depths of my heart having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken my vows because I do not want the future suffering. I'm sick of suffering, and also regret the anger, attachment, and the rest of the cause of why we harm others, and think again, I am sick of this suffering. And then think, what can I do about it? Whom can I turn to? So here we come to the power of reliance. And so we rely upon we turn to the Buddha, the doctor, who has the methods that we can use to purify. And we're not asking Vajrasattva to forgive us. We're not turning to him as some kind of higher power, some all-knowing higher power. We're turning to him for these methods that we can use to heal ourselves. You can imagine Vajrasattva above the crown of your head. And you can also imagine that if you do happen to have a teacher and you've gone, the full Buddhist thing and have taken refuge, etc., you can think of maybe this is the mind of your teacher. This is showing in this aspect, Vajrasattva aspect, or your guru, or your lama, or your trusted mentor, however you see them. And they're manifesting in this way for your benefit. It just makes it a little bit more personal for us. And he's made of radiant, blissful white light, sitting cross-legged on a white lotus and a moon cushion. He has a beautiful, radiant face. His eyes are long and peaceful and full of love and compassion for you and all those people of your life. He has a sweet red mouth. His hair is black and held up in a top knot. His arms are crossed at his heart, the left underneath the right. The left is holding a bell representing wisdom, and the right is holding a vajra, which represents indestructibility, compassion. And their being crossed represents enlightenment itself, where we develop infinite wisdom and infinite compassion. To the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. By this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva, may I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. So in order to develop compassion, we need to rely upon other beings. So think about some beings you've harmed. Think about beings who've harmed you. And develop compassion for them. So wish for them to be free from suffering. And then make a strong aspiration to do this practice of purification for the sake of all these beings, and think, I must purify for their sake. So here we come to the power of the remedy, and this is the medicine, doing the practice of purification. So we start by purifying the body. And imagine Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful white nectar, like coming out of a hose, quite forcefully from his heart, and it arcs around and enters your crown and pours into your entire body, filling you completely. And it keeps pouring into you until it forces out of your lower orifices all the harm you've ever done to any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid. And this pours out of you and disappears into space, not one atom left, as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Tira Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasiti Mepiyata Sawakama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Tira Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasiti Mempiyata Sawakama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Tira Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasiti Mempiyata Sawakama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Tira Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasiti Mempiyata Sawakama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Tira Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasiti Mempiyata Sawakama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Tira Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta me bawa sawa siddhi me piyata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabala mahasamaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita tita me bawa sutokaya me bawa supokaya me bawa Anarakta me bawa sawa siddhi me piyata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan Sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabala mahasamaya sattva aham pe. So be delighted that all the harm you've ever done to any sentient being with your body is now completely purified, and think there's no way you could do anything other than benefit others now with your body. So next is the purification of speech, and Vajrasattva now very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra, and it arcs around and forcefully enters your crown, filling your entire body, except this time forcing up to the top of your body all the negativity of your speech, which overflows and disappears into space, not one atom left. So imagine that all the gossip and the harsh speech and useless speech and lying, talking badly about others behind their backs, all of this is purified by this powerful nectar filling you as you recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita tita me bawa sutokaya me bawa supokaya me bawa anarakta me bawa sawa siddhi me piyata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabala mahasamaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita tita me bawa sutokaya me bawa supokaya me bawa Anarakta me bawa sawa siddhi me piyata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabala mahasamaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita tita me bawa sutokaya me bawa supokaya me bawa Anarakta me bawa sawa siddhi me piyata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabala mahasamaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita tita me bawa sutokaya me bawa supokaya me bawa Anarakta me bawa sawa siddhi me piyata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabala mahasamaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita tita me bawa sutokaya me bawa supokaya me bawa Anarakta me bawa sawa siddhi me piyata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabala mahasamaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita tita me bawa sutokaya me bawa supokaya me bawa Anarakta me bawa sawa siddhi me piyata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabala mahasamaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita tita me bawa sutokaya me bawa supokaya me bawa Anarakta me bawa sawa siddhi me piyata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabala mahasamaya sattva aham pe. So again, feel so happy that your speech is now completely purified, and imagine it's not possible to do anything other than benefit others now with your speech. So next is the purification of the mind, and Vajrasattva now very compassionately sends powerful beams of light from his heart chakra, and this arcs around it, enters your crown and fills your entire being. So again, imagining it's the same as when you walk into a pitch black room and you flick on the light switch. The light dispels the darkness. So it's the same here. The moment the light from Vajrasattva's heart touches your heart, all the darkness of the negativity of your mind, all the anxieties and depressions and attachment and grasping and insecurity and grudges and bitterness and jealousy, all of this instantly dispelled, not one atom left as you recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasiti Mepi Yata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Satra Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasiti Mipi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Satra Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Tita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasiti Mipi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Satra Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasiti Mipi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Satra Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasiti Mipi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Satra Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasiti Mipi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Satra Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasiti Mipi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Satra Aham Pe. So again, be delighted that all your delusions, the cause of our own suffering and why we harm others with our body and our speech, are totally gone. And think now, you have no space in your heart for anything other than love and kindness and forgiveness and wisdom and bliss and compassion. So next is the purification of the imprints of negativity of the body, speech, and mind. And this time, just imagine that Vajrasattva sends light and nectar, and it fills you completely and eradicates even the subtlest imprints of negative energy from your mind. As you recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasiti Mipi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Satra Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasiti Mipi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Satra Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasiti Mipi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Satra Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasiti Mipi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Satra Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasiti Mipi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Satra Aham Pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dinapatita Dida mibawa Zitokaya mibawa Sipokaya mibawa Anarakta mibawa Sawasiti mimpiyata Sawakama sita me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum ha ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dinapatita Dida mibawa Sitokaya mibawa Sipokaya mibawa Anarakta mibawa Sawasiti mimpiyata Sawakama sita me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum ha ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe. So now feel you are completely purified. There's not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. Even the subtlest obscurations to your enlightenment have been removed. So now we come to the power of resolve, and this is probably, most crucial step is this determination to not harm. So we can do as many mantras mindlessly as we like, but if we don't then make a decision that perhaps we would like to refrain from harming ourselves and others, it's not going to happen. So here we resolve, we make an aspiration, and this becomes a beacon that guides our body and our speech and our mind in different directions, away from those habits that we have. So think of something that you'd like to work on between now and tomorrow. Maybe it's something to do with your speech. Give yourself a reasonable timeline, 5 seconds, if that's all you can do. And then just think about that. And then just drop it slowly, humbly, and just do the best you can. And rejoice in the progress you have made up until now. So Vajrasattva is delighted with us and wanting to merge with your mind, melts into white light and absorbs into you through your crown. You can imagine that your teacher's mind, your body, speech, and mind, your Vajrasattva's body, speech, and mind, and your own body, speech, and mind are the same. They're one. And next we do a little bit on emptiness. In emptiness, there is no I, the creator of negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma, and there is no negative karma created. So at whatever level you understand emptiness, place your mind there for a little while. We can think of all phenomena as being empty. They do not exist from their own side. You can also think that perhaps the way things are appearing to me may not necessarily be the way they actually exist. So let's just dedicate all the merit, all the positive energy you've created doing this purification to all living beings, and think, may all the virtuous karma I've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. So for His Holiness the Dalai Lama, the wish-granting, wish-fulfilling jewel, source of every single benefit and happiness in this world, to the incomparably kind Tenzin Gyatso I beseech, may all your holy wishes be spontaneously fulfilled. And for Lama Zopa Rinpoche, O Tub Shul Chang Shin Jam Gon Galloway, Tenzing Kyong Pelaway Kunzo Dog Porze, Yog Sum Kurwe Leg Mon Tu Drub. Ha dag sog dulje kondu jab ten shok. For Lama Ursel Venerable One, to you whose kindness exceeds that of all the conquerors, for those wanderers in far-off places, especially the West, mindfully with loving concern for us in intentionally descending again into a family of a far distant land, we make this request. O Lama, please, please live long. And for Geshe-Shera, beloved teacher, leading your students toward wisdom and compassion, explaining through exacting discernment the steps of the graduated path. You are the unequal guide. Please live a long and stable life. Okay, everybody, lots of love. I look forward to seeing maybe some of you tomorrow morning. And do take care between now and then, and sleep well. And thank you, Mary, for hosting. And for anyone else who was guarding the door,